Hey Trails Collective, Ian here for the weekly rundown, week ending Friday, March 5th, 2021. So we're going to jump right into it with the UltraSignUp Hot List. There are several that we announced last week that filled up or capped last weekend. So hopefully this is valuable for those of you, potentially with some of these races on your calendars. So, Spring on the Trails endurance runs, 3 hours, set for March 28th in Lagrangeville, New York, is up 10% this week and is now at 98% full. It'll cap by this weekend. English's Ridge Rumble, 10 and 20 milers, running April 17th in Fayetteville, New York, are 97 and 94% full, respectively. The Dogwood Ultramarathon's 12 and 24 hours, running April 3rd in Green Bay, Virginia, are 97% full. The Midstate Massive Ultra Trail 50 miler, slated for October 9th, starting in New Ipswich, New Hampshire, is up 8% over last week, now being 98% full, and will cap this weekend. And the Catamount Ultras 25K and 50K are now open and have quickly hit the cap warning track at 92 and 90% full. Slated to run in the most beautiful Stowe, Vermont on June 26th and June 27th. So check those out, jump right into them. Go ahead, I'll give you a moment now to hop on, shift over to Google, get your registrations in, UltraSignUp, because they're about to cap. I'll wait. Good. All right. Well, thanks for those of you who tuned in this evening as I filmed to a TC Live interview with Tom Hooper of 603 Endurance of New Hampshire, putting on some pretty cool and beautiful events up there. I'm signed up for a couple. Kismet Cliff and Vulcan's Fury, both in the fall. Looking forward to both of them. Hopefully they happen, and taking some family and friends up there. So check out that interview and find out what Tom and the most awesome New Hampshire scene are up to. Let's see. Results. Let's get results from this past weekend. So there's one event, there might have been more, but there's one event on my radar that ran. It was the Swammie Shuffle 200, or 200 milers in Virginia Beach, Virginia. These were rather basically an out and back course, 100 miles each direction. Began in Sandbridge Beach in Virginia Beach and ran 100 miles south through the Outer Banks of North Carolina to the Hatteras Lighthouse. And once reaching the lighthouse, the individuals were destined to turn around and head on back. I believe this is still running. And I was actually able, we'll find out right now, to check in with the Swammie Shuffle crew to tune us in a little bit about what we've mentioned in the past couple weeks in this episode and rundowns, what this event has been highlighting and seeking to really make us all aware of. So Swammie Shuffle crew, take it.
Hi, so my name is Josh Fosberg and
James Holder,
and we're the directors for the Swammie Shuffle 200 miler, which is going on right now. We're at the end of day 3. So the Swammie Shuffle 200 miler is a race from Sandbridge Beach in Virginia down the coast into the Outer Banks and down to the Hatteras Lighthouse. And once they get to the Hatteras Lighthouse, they will turn around and run back to Sandbridge Beach. So roughly 200 miles. The reason for this race, a year ago on February 28th, guy that I served with in the Marine Corps, Dustin Lang, we call him Swammie, lost his battle with PTSD and depression and became one of the 22 veterans a day to commit suicide. So in an attempt to maybe redeem that day, raise some awareness, and then really get with Mission 22, me and James kind of talked about a lot of the different organizations we wanted to incorporate in this, and at the end of the day, Mission 22 was the one that was getting left to bang. They're the ones that are providing actual counseling, providing medical assistance, providing tons of programs. They got a program with horses. They've got jiu-jitsu program. So they've got a bunch of different programs, but they're actually getting with veterans instead of waiting until after it happens and then doing stuff for the families or just raising awareness. So that's why we got with Mission 22. We have a link on our Facebook page. So the Swammie Shuffle 200 Facebook page for those who want to donate to that. But as far as the race itself goes, Matt Jenkins, the guy who won the Great Reversal Race across Tennessee, actually got with us, and due to some scheduling stuff, we ended up having him start a couple days early. He finished in about 3.5 days. Everybody else is out on the course right now. Kelly Fegis is about 15 miles ahead of the next person, and that distance is just growing throughout the day. And then the rest of the pack is all halfway. They've all passed halfway. They're on the last quarter of the race. They all got a little over a quarter left, except for Kelly. And that's where we're at on the race. So it's been a great time.
It's been fun. It's been good.
That's Swammie Shuffle and Mission 22. And if you got any questions, we'd love to answer them.
And then back in the mix are some FKT results coming through. So in Massachusetts, Ceili Brennan, 2 hours, 20 minutes for the Martha's Vineyard North Shore. Spectacular looking all beach route. This is a baseline unsupported female mark. In Maryland, Erin Festerman, 9 hours, 49 minutes for the first known female single shot crossing of Assateague from north to south. That's a 37.5 miles of sand, which, sounds pretty wicked tough. And as we mentioned prior, this route gains in coolness in that it starts with a kayaking crossing. In New Hampshire, Torey Brooks, 2 hours, 16 minutes for the 11.7 mile Pawtuckaway State Park Three Peaks. Just reading about the route, there are remnants of a volcano from over 100 million years ago. Are you sure about that? 100 million? Come on. It's an opening unsupported female mark. New Hampshire, Ariana Riccio, 5 laps in 5 hours, 52 minutes for the Central Park Loop Challenge. It's a female supported mark. I'm a little curious on this one just being a loop around Central Park, what it entails to be supported. Whether it's just somebody watching your stuff or kind of what goes into that. In Virginia, Brennan Henning and Ty Stevenson, 7 hours, 53 minutes for the 50-mile section of the really scenic, it looks beautiful, New River Trail, lowering Michael Stowe's mark from April 2020 by 23 minutes. All right, we got a slew of events coming up in March. Back on deck, there were probably half in the mix that have been canceled or COVIDed for this year. But some are making it through, still open in registration and on target to run. Most immediately this weekend, March 6th, the King of the Mountain at the Snowplex in Lynchburg, Virginia, put on by the Liberty Campus crew. It is at the Snowplex Center, it's I think it just goes straight. Well, I'm not sure, but I think it just goes straight up. Well, I take that back. It's 1,000 feet of elevation change. I think it's probably maybe like 500 feet up, 500 feet down. There are 100 spots left with registration still open on Run Sign Up if you're interested in a little mad dash up and down a mountain. March 7th, Mid-Maryland Trail Festival 50K in Elkridge, Maryland. Registration is still live. Steel at only $29. March 13th, the Belmonte Endurance Races, 25 50K 50 milers, slated to run in Lyndhurst, Virginia. Some pretty good classic Virginia races. They take place on the beautiful trails of the George Washington National Forest and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Really good just spring options to have on deck. Course is 95% single track and mountain roads, and has 6,500 feet of gain for the 50 mile. I'll check that. And 3,100 feet for the 50K, 2,100 feet for the 25K. So check that out. That is still going. Montvale 5 and 8.4 milers slated to run in Montvale, Virginia. Registration is still open for that one. Also March 13th, another one on deck. Several coming right up in the 50K vein in Virginia. Elizabeth Furnace 50K. It's another sweet Virginia Happy Trail springtime option. Runs around Fort Valley, Virginia. It's a rocky technical 50-kilometer course near the northern end of the Massanutten Range. It's named for Elizabeth Furnace, one of the iron blast furnaces operated in Fort Valley during the 19th century. Looks like a pretty sweet one as well. Registration, actually that's closed out. I think they only take 40 people for that, but that is running. Another one where registration did close out or capped out. We gave you the heads up last week. No Man's 50K put on by Athletics Equations women's division, or I think it's the, I think it's the family, the ladies in the house putting that one on. And Prince William Forest Park in Virginia, and it's an all-women's 50K. I think they might have another, they have 11 mile, 25K, and 5K in that option as well. So good luck to everybody turning out for that one. The Seneca Creek Greenway Trail Marathon at 50K. According to the website, on this run you will experience some of Montgomery County, Maryland's finest single-track trails, meandering along the beautiful Seneca Creek in Seneca State Park. The scenic trail is muddy, rocky, rooty, hilly, and steep in sections with no major elevation gain or loss. Challenging, beautiful run for all. Registration is open until March 10th. Again, that's the Seneca Creek Greenway Trail Marathon at 50K. Looney Leprechaun 10K Trail Race slated to run in Richboro, PA. Registration is live. March 14th, a modification for the Sasquatch Cruise. It's the Sasquatch Substitute Single Squatch 5.5 or 11 miler, slated for March 14th in Mahwah, New Jersey. You can check out further information at SasquatchTrailRunning.com. And this was an update for the COVID modification and permitting for their typical double squatch that typically runs same weekend. And then a couple more here to round out March. March 21st, Terrapin Mountain 50K and Half Marathon. Another great Virginia option. This is the other one that I was mentioning. Early season 50K, also showcasing some of the beautiful and technical trails of the Blue Ridge Mountains. This one's long been full, but you can check out further information for next early season at EcoX Sports. March 28th, Miocene Epic, a 6-hour event running over a 5-mile loop on the shores of the beautiful Chesapeake Bay in Lusby, Maryland. Registration is still open for that one. The Naked Prussian, one that I'm in the mix of this year. It's the Naked Bavarian merged into it for a marathon and 50-mile options. They run on the flowing trail surrounding Blue Marsh Lake in Leesport, PA. 74 spots. Well, maybe that's still the case. Maybe that's my figure from this week. Might still remain. You can check that out at UltraSignUp. And the last one that I believe is still on my radar for March is the Dogwood Ultras. This is put on by the Virginia Adventures crew, and they offer 10-mile, 12-hour night, and 24-hour options, and literally only a handful of spots left for a field size of a bit over 100. So climb on board at UltraSignUp. So that was what's shaken in the Northeast trail scene. Stay tuned for next round. We'll try to bring you some results and voices from some of those that are going this week. All right, hope you're all doing well. Connect soon. Thanks for the support. See ya.